Okay, man. Okay. So, man, how's everything?
He's good,
How's
man. He's
Caleb?
good.
How's
I
everything?
spoke with him briefly on my way from the airport.
Okay. And
Nothing,
what y'all
just a
speak
fight,
about?
man. And I just told him I was proud of him, man. I told him I was proud of him, man. I told him he was my hero, man. He went. You ever see the movie Fight Club? It's a movie called Fight Club, and
Mm-hmm.
Brad Pitt talked about going to the burger. He went to the burger, man. He's like, you go
Yeah,
to the ground
yeah.
beef, man. And he went to the burger, man. So I ain't you know. I just told him, I'm proud of him. That's it.
Yeah, he
Hey,
definitely got
man.
nothing to be ashamed about. I mean, you guys like
Hey,
beautiful
man, listen.
performance.
Not a lot of guys taking them kind of fights, man. I'm just telling you. I know a lot of people in boxing, and a lot of guys take a whole lot of um, generic fights. That's a real fight, man, that he does not have to take. He's already a millionaire. Already made 10 million to fight Canelo. He did not have to take that fight. Trust me. We could have took we could milk this thing, bro. We can. Like, I'm just being honest. We could milk it, and he took on a young, undefeated killer, and he stood up, man. So I don't have no um I don't I don't have nothing to say.
I mean, walk me down to like, round one to round 12. I mean, you guys had a beautiful display of boxing from round one to five. What started the fatigueness on round six?
Um like, you gotta give David credit. That's a lot of pressure. You know what I'm saying? Like, people keep talking about Caleb wasn't in shape. He you can't not be in shape in the last 12 rounds with David Benavidez. You know what I mean? You just can't. So, like, let's see somebody else last 12 rounds. That's all. That's all. Let's just see another guy
Mm-hmm.
last 12 rounds. Let's see another guy last 12 rounds and try to win. That's it. And then we'll talk about whether he was in shape or not. You're gonna get tired in the fight. You got ups and downs. Listen to this. You know why I didn't stop the fight? Because David was tired. If he wasn't tired, he would have finished him. He was
Mm-hmm.
tired. He was fatigued. He was fatigued too. It's a hard fight. You get tired. It's part of boxing. If you moving like that, you taking them kind of punches. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot to go into that. Jokers run their mouth and they can't fight 30 seconds in the street. They can't. They can't fight 30 seconds in the street and they talking. You think you don't get tired? You get tired in those kind of fights. You know what I'm saying? Like, Caleb was in shape. He did the best he could for you know for the circumstances. Just that simple. For the guys that want to talk about getting tired, let David fight David, and then tell me if you gonna get tired. That's it. For everybody that got something to say like that, like, fight somebody to put that kind of pressure on you, come downhill that big, that strong, and you see if you get tired or not.
So was that why, when you sensed tiredness and fatigueness from David, is that the reason why you went into the corner and said, go out there and knock him out, giving
Um,
him that confidence?
at that time, you just trying to inspire your guy. You know what I mean? You try to inspire your guy, and I can't remember everything I said between every round. I ain't gonna lie to you. You know what I mean? I really can't remember everything I said, but I seen him get hit with a shot, and I was like, "Yo, man, he got." I seen him get hurt a little bit, and then I seen him kind of, like, you wobble a little bit. Then I was looking, and I'm like, "Damn, man, you know what? David a little bit tired too." And it's funny because I had a conversation with Ronnie Shields when the fight first got made back in November, and me and Ronnie was talking, and he was like, "Hey, Brad, David get tired. He just throw a lot of punches, but he get tired too." And I heard, as weird as this may sound, all the people that were screaming behind us, I heard Jamal Charlo, like, "Brad, man, Don't stop it. He gonna be all right. It was weird. I can't believe I heard his voice. I looked right around and I seen him. And I was thinking to myself, like, damn, you know what? David tired too. Now, Jamal didn't say that what Ronnie said. He just said, Brett, man, don't stop it. But I thought about Ronnie saying to me, he's like, look at him close. He get tired. He just don't stop throwing punches. And, um, and I was like, damn, you know what? If David was tired, he'd be able to put more. If David wasn't tired, he would have been able to put more stuff together. So I let him rock. And it was an instinct call. And it wasn't it was just my instinct. I just said, let him go. You know what I mean? And he was all right. He finished the fight.
When we talk about the referee Kenny, and Caleb Plant, do you think he did a good job clinching? At the times that he's did, there was a little bit of an excessive clinching, but obviously it's part of the game. Sometimes I talked to James Toney. James Toney mentioned, he's like, if you're gonna clinch, make sure you clinch all the way. Clinch like a firm. What do you think? What do you have to say for like
Um,
people that mention those type
well,
of comments?
well, first of
Again about the
all, James Toney is right. You got to clinch correctly. You can't just clinch. You got to clinch correctly. So he's right with that. Caleb, he's learning how to clinch a little bit better. You know what I mean? But it's something that he needs to work on, And trust me, bro, I worked on it. But under the gun is different. He did the best he could to survive, and that's what he did. Um, uh, as far as the people complaining about um, Caleb Holden, when Julian got hit by Jamal Charlo, right, with that big uppercut many years ago, you know
yeah,
what people said to me? Why didn't he
right?
hold? Got hurt. So funny that now the guy tie a guy up. You know what they say? Why was he holding? It's funny. It's funny. I literally got that criticism. Why you ain't teach him how to hold? Yeah, well, we did teach him how to hold. Maybe his head was spinning. Maybe his head was spinning. Maybe he was dizzy. That's why he didn't hold. So now I got a guy that survived and tied the guy up. And now they say, well, why'd he hold so much? I'm telling you, man, I don't care who take offense to this. It was a hard fight. It was a grudge match. Both guys did a lot of dirty stuff. They was hitting each other low. Caleb got knocked on the back of his head. It was headbutts. It was elbows. It was a lot of stuff that was done from both guys. We didn't do too much complaining. And all they talk about is the holding. You know why they talk about the holding? Because they wanted to see him get stopped. Because holding wouldn't have
Correct.
been, if you rooting for Floyd Mayweather, then, and you watching Ty Maidana up, it's called tying up. If you're a Bernard Hopkins fan and he tie a guy up, it's called being crafty and tying him up. But Caleb Plant tying up David Benavidez, he holding too much because you want to see him get knocked out. If you're a Caleb Plant fan and you want to see him win the fight, you're not going to say he holding. You're going to say he's surviving, doing what he can to get to the next point of the fight. It's funny because they want to see him lose. They want to see the guy lose, and then, they want to complain about holding. Well, what would you rather do? Talk about holding, or tell me which one worse? Holding or getting punched in the back of your head? Holding or getting punched in your nuts? Now listen, Caleb punched him in the nuts too. It's part of the game. They both was hitting each other low. But is holding worse than getting punched in your nuts? One time, David hit Caleb in his back, not on his side, in his back. He was moving away towards David Coyne, hitting right in his back. I'm like, all right, You know what I tell my guys when somebody do something to them? Don't do it back. Do it right back. It's part of the game. He hit you low, hit him low. Hit you in the back of the head, hit him in the back of the head. You know what I mean? It's part of it. I never call David a dirty fighter because he's a dog. He's an animal. I respect him. He's an animal. He did what he do. Those elbows, that's what you're supposed to do if a guy holds you. Throw your elbows. That's cool. Caleb should have hit him with an elbow. I'm not complaining about that. It's all part of the game. But I keep hearing all of this stuff about this holding, and I'm like, y'all wanted to see him lose. That's the only reason why you're complaining about the holding, because they was both doing all kinds of dirty stuff to each other. That wasn't the only thing. Caleb got a freaking gash in his head from a headbutt and an elbow. Like, it's cool. All right. That's part of the game. Let's keep going. How did he got knots on the back of his head like the size of golf balls. How did they get there? All right. You know, so it's just,
Do you think the referee played in your favor more
I think the
or in his favor more?
referee did the best job he could. Mr. Bayless is a kind of an older guy, you know what I'm saying? And he's just an older guy, and you know, he did the best he could. You know, I'm not complaining about the referee. Like I could complain about the scorecards. There's no way he only won 3 rounds. I could say that. I ain't complaining. There's no way that kid won 3 rounds. Lost the fight. That's cool. There's no way in the world he only won 3 rounds. People that don't even like me or him, you can't go back at what you said on social media. It's like, damn, he swept the first 5 or 6 rounds. Then when you start coming on,
right?
Then you hear 117, 111, and then you like, wow, damn, how did that get there?
Well, scorecards was lopsided.
I don't care about the rest of the fights. I'm talking about my fight, my guy's fight. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And because there's always different judges for different fights. So, but the scorecard, you know, he 9-3 was not the fight that I saw. You know what I mean?
Did you see 5 rounds?
5-7 was
5 to 7.
Fair. I could live with 5-7. But let me tell you something funny. Yeah. Caleb might have hustled and won the 12th round. He had a good 12th round. Just watch the fight. I think that the momentum that David had kind of made it, the momentum he had kind of made things like, sometimes people score momentum, but rounds are supposed to be scored 1 by 1. You know what I mean? So that's what happens with that. But man, it's part of the game. Like, you know, you gotta you deal with it, and I keep the same energy all the time, man. You know what I mean? Like, I never had anything bad to say about David before the fight and not after the fight. Like, I told him straight up, like, you're a great fighter. He hugged me in the ring. He apologized because he know, like, I'm just a trainer. You know what I mean? I don't, you know, I'm not gonna be sitting around arguing with nobody young enough to be my son. But you know, we did the best we could, man. And Caleb is a dog, man. And I really believe that all the criticism he got for the Canelo fight, you know, brought this performance out of him. I don't believe he wanted to go out like that. I believe that he wanted to give more of himself. He gave everything he had. And that's all you can ask of a guy. Everybody always criticize and say, well, you should have did this, you should have did that. Most of these guys jumping on here, I don't read the comments. They can't even get in the street fights. You know what I'm saying? And you know, boxing don't work that way. It's not a video game, man. You know what I mean? It's not, why didn't you do that? And why didn't he inside fight? And why didn't he do this? And why didn't he do that? It's not that simple. You know what I'm saying? You under the gun versus a killer. You know what I'm saying? You under the gun versus a killer who's better than you in certain areas. So you do what you can. You know what I mean? And I thought Caleb did a great job. I thought his jab was working. He was killing him with the jab to the body. His feet was working. I thought he did a great job, man. I thought he did the best he could under those circumstances. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, people criticize. I just be like, all right, let's see what y'all do when y'all get to that moment. You know what I mean? Because I know the kid gave all of himself. And when a kid give you everything, that's all you can ask for. You just got to